guys, welcome to part one of my landscape tutorial video. Today we're going to be going over my process behind sketching out an idea with pencil and paper traditionally in my sketchbook, and then the process of uploading that onto Photoshop to add some colour. I'm going to be going through lots of fundamentals like perspective, composition, colour theory, light, shadow, values, all that good stuff. So hopefully you'll learn a lot from this vid. I appreciate you guys, anyone watching. I'm going to be making more videos in the future, so yeah, without further ado, enjoy. That's some huge buildings or huge mountains or whatever, so again, just light, and then just let your mind's eye create some shapes. So I think we're going to do a mountainous landscape. We're going to have a dramatic Asian style hilltop slash mountain sticking up here. I say Asian style, it's kind of like Avatar, those kind of dramatic hills. Really like the look of them. So we've got one point there. It's probably going to be hard to see, but I'll change the contrast on the edit. And I want to have it out of frame as well. Have the summit out of frame anyway. And then we're going to have another one completely in frame, rising up. I'm sweating. Rising up in the background there. Some little rocky shapes. And then, because things always come better in free for some reason with design work, if you can have free focal points, if you're doing mountains, free main mountain peaks, it just always works out. It's balanced, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And you're getting some distance as well, which is always nice. Okay. So this centre bit here, you want the most kind of detail going on. Like, detail is always best in your midground. So let's say this is the foreground, this is the background. This bit here is then your midground, and that's where it's best to stick the details. So by details I mean smaller shapes. Smaller shapes, also known as more detail. Something to attract the eye throughout your scene. Let's have a nice flowing. If you've ever been to Scotland, you'll know what I mean about these smooth flowing hills. That's why it's always good to travel if you're an artist, because you get better ideas with experience. Go outside. Do not stay indoors. Even if you've got, you know, the internet to look at pictures of stuff, it doesn't mean anything unless you properly experience it. I'm very anti-VR. Screw Zuckerberg. And Apple as well. Oh, don't go outside. You can have a virtual landscape. No. Right, okay. I'm going to start to use a darker pencil now, I think. I've got a 3B. Hope that is adjusting. Yeah, cool. I was worried the focus was going to remain unfocused. Right, let's start pressing a bit harder on the foreground elements. As the contrast goes up, the closer you get to the foreground. So this is going to be like a plane, I think, this area. And then we go into a nice descending hilltop into a mountain peak. So now we're going to start doing some what you call contour lines, and that describes the perspective. So let's say this is our horizon line, this is where our eyes are. You're looking up at a mountain, these get more steeper as the perspective goes up. It's a good way of describing the shape. Almost like the bark on a tree trunk. And you'll get a sense that you're from down low looking up at it. Obviously the lower down, the straighter the lines get. Isn't the greatest composition ever, but just been away for the weekend. It's my first bit of sketching since I come back, so I'm a little bit rusty. You got to practice every single day. Never a day off, guys. Let's have some bits rising out. You want to have some overlapping sections. Like, so that's going to overlap that bit of background. That's how you get a sense of depth. You've got to use all the little tricks. Overlapping, contour lines, perspective, blah 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 blah. Got a putty rubber, these are good. You can squeeze it into little shapes so you can more accurately erase stuff, which is always useful. Just keep working the pencil lines, imagining this scene in your mind's eye as it starts to form on the page. Like, you know, that could be a path on the planes there. So you've got a risen bit here, flat planes here. Fun. All right, let's get in this big guy here. So you can see the sense of size because it's missing from frame, so you know it's going to go up to way off the page, but that just if you frame it like that, that gives you a nice sense of height, and it looks cool. Again, use those contour lines. You see this? So sharp like that. They get less and less steep the lower you go. And you can have vertical contour lines describing the shapes some more. Mountains are probably the easiest thing to draw and paint, I'd say. Maybe I'm biased though, because I love mountains. I'm quite a simple person. I like mountains, trees, rivers, and forests. That's all I need. Where are we at? Nearly 10 minutes. I'll try and keep this video fairly short. We're going to scan it onto Photoshop and then add some colour soon. Just like we did with the mech, but landscapes. Fun, fun, fun. Okay. I know I said things come in threes, but let's do not a fourth, but let's do a fourth and a fifth mountain. Where can the fifth go? There. So that gives us a nice sense of depth. We've got like several layers here. We've got like, so this is like one layer, two layer, third layer, fourth layer, fifth layer. We go back. And then up here, can't really sketch clouds. It's more just for painting that. But remember perspective with clouds. So you're down from the bottom. The clouds at the top are going to be much kind of a larger body. And as they go back, they're going to get thinner. So that is basically that, but far away. It's kind of hard to explain this stuff, but I think you guys understand what I'm talking about. See that it's getting the shape is more visible the further back it goes, and it all flattens out as well. Like the landscapes on those Looney Tunes with Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, the way the clouds go smaller and smaller the further back they get. Best way I can explain it. Right, I think that's just about it for this sketch. Just a basic one. It's not my best composition, it's quite flat, but we can always change it in Photoshop. Okay, it looks alright. Make it more interesting somehow. So I'm going to make this a focal point. So let's do lots of little rocks, details. So the eye will just automatically zone in on changes of value, colour, and changes of complexity. That's where the eye goes. Your eye is probably drawn to this right now, in fact, as I'm drawing it. It's magic! Cool. You can get a sense of height, as if they're towering over you, which is nice. What I might do next as well is kind of plot out a bit of a light scheme. It's hard to do with, I might save that for the painting actually. It's hard, unless I shade the whole thing. It would be hard to show light and shadow on this. Cool, kind of out nicely now. So clouds receding into the background, mountains receding into the background. Basically a very rocky landscape. I'm going to do some greenery down here though. There's going to be green up here and all that niceness. Where are we at? Oh, we're nearly at 15. Right, I'm probably going to cut it off there. That'll do for a sketch anyway. I'm happy with that. So see you in the next part when I'll be taking a photo of it and then scanning it onto Photoshop and then adding some colour. Congratulations if you've made it to the end of this tutorial. Just want to let you know that I appreciate you, and just keep on creating. If you love art, you love creating, don't let anyone or anything or any new technology, fear in the news, don't let anything stop you from doing it. You will be successful if you're passionate enough, have enough drive. Motivation is rubbish. It's It's all about discipline, consistency and drive. You can do it. I believe in you. Peace.